Good afternoon, my COS1511 Group 7E students, and welcome to our weekly Zoom session. I'm so happy. I can see Puti there. I can see it's Talangalani. I can see Ezekiel, Galaxy S10. I'm not sure who that is, but I know they got a Galaxy S10 cell phone. Trivo. Puti, would you mind saying hello to us?
Hello everyone.
How are you, Puti?
I'm good, and how are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Where are you logging in from, Puti?
I'm from Pretoria.
Where about in Pretoria?
Attridgeville.
Attridgeville. Whoa, that's right next to Lodium. Puti, I used to live in Lodium many years ago at the Transvaal College of Education. I was a teacher there. Yay, not a teacher, I was a student learning to become a teacher. Puti, you know where's Lodium?
Yes, I know Lodium.
Oh, great. Right, Talangalani, I can see you also in the house. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Limpopo, Tzaneen.
Limpopo, Tzaneen. Ooh, that's very far away from me. But thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, great. Okay, so for today's lesson, we're going to work on classes. Okay, I should be saying lesson. For today's class, we're going to talk about classes. That's my attempt at making a joke. You see, Talangalani, you didn't get the joke because classes is in lesson 30. The last lesson of the study guide, okay? So now I'm sharing my screen. Puti, do you see my screen where it says the purpose of this lesson 30?
Yes, I can see.
Great. Now, whenever a teacher, Puti knows that I studied at the Transvaal College of Education, which is in Lodium, which is right next to Attridgeville, where Puti is, we had to talk about objectives of a lesson or purpose of a lesson. So in today's Zoom class, I'm using the word again, we are talking about lesson 30, which is classes. Now, I've been an e-tutor for COS1511 for a number of years, and very often I would be able to spot what comes out in the exam. And I know I'm recording this lesson, and I can tell you now that this section for COS1511, the examiner tends not to test you so much on it, because in the next module, COS1512, is where they go heavy into and deep into classes. Okay? So that being said, don't think that you can ignore this lesson 30, okay? Because this lesson 30 on classes, or should I say, Puti, this class on classes. Puti, you got the joke? Oh man, Talangalani, I'm using that joke again.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. Yes, Talangalani. This class on classes kind of embraces all the concepts of this course, right? It's like the concluding section to COS1511. So when you talk about the purpose, again, this is the objective. What is it that they want you to have accomplished in this course? So if I look at it, it says, the purpose of this guide was to provide you with object-oriented programming. Now, I just want to show off with you, Talangalani. You get structural, you get procedural, you get different paradigms of programming, okay? But in this course and the next one that they're talking about, they were mentioning object-oriented programming, or sometimes we call it OOP. And they mentioned that in this lesson, they made the preceding lessons, the only kind of member functions that we spoke about was a string class. All right. Now, I haven't done strings as yet because there was no request for it. But if you look at past year exam papers, they always include an appendix. And very often in the appendix, they have the string functions like the substitute, erase, replace. When I say If they're including that in the appendix, it kind of gives you an indication that this may appear in the exam. So let's go on. It says, simply stated, a class consists of data combined with a number of functions that we call member functions. Now, Brendan Conradi is not here with me today, but we had a discussion this week where he was talking about user-defined functions, where the user, you, the programmer, would be able to write a function, and that becomes your function, and you can kind of allow other people to borrow the use of that function. Okay, but we're not getting into that right now. So the way they tackled this class, and the way I'm going to talk about this class is that I'm going to take this program and I'm going to run it in code blocks. By now, you should be very, very good with code blocks. Telangalani, what do you say? Code blocks is like using Microsoft Word.
Yes.
You like code blocks, Telangalani?
Yes, I do.
Oh, great. And let me tell you a little secret. If your Microsoft Word is not working,
Okay.
you can always use code blocks as a word processor. Haha, what do you think about that? Oh man, Kalangalani.
Sorry, I can't hear you. You're saying?
Oh, is my internet connection dropping?
Yeah, the
Telangalani.
sound a little bit.
Oh,
Yes,
I'm
the
sorry.
sound.
Oh, the sound. I thought I was quite loud. Putty, can you
Now
hear me,
you're
Putty?
okay.
Oh, good, good. I brought the laptop closer to me. Putty, can you hear
Okay.
me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Right, I made another joke, Putty. I told Telangalani that if her Microsoft Word wasn't working, she can always use code blocks as a word processor. How's that joke? Putty, come on, I made a joke. Hey, all my jokes are like computer jokes and y'all don't get it. Oh, thank you, Putty. Thank you, Putty. Thank you, Putty. There we go. Putty started laughing for me. Very good. So the joke is that if you can use it like let's just name this function, this file, Putty. I'm gonna call it Putty because Putty is here. And let me see the file. There we go, Putty. So if I don't want to have to use Microsoft Word, I can actually use this as a editor. Aha! What do you think of that? So I can say, hello, how are you? Da, 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 da. Putty, don't you think I can type very fast, Putty? Oh, Putty, that's a joke, Putty. It's all unintelligible. Langalani, what do you think about that? Right? But we're not going to use this as an editor for today. We are now going to be using it to understand what this lesson 30 is all about, what these classes are all about, all right? Haha,
Okay.
here's a play on the words, classes. So what you do, never mind you never read about all this thing about classes. I want you to take this program, copy it, and paste it into code blocks, which is named in honor of Putty. So let's take that along. So there we go. And they talk about processing a movie. Now let's copy that. This is the only class. Ha, there's my joke again, that you can copy and paste, right? So let's open up code blocks and I paste it there. Already you'll notice that I have a reserved word that did not appear in any other lesson prior to lesson 30. Putty, Telangalani, I hope you can see it. What's this new word that we can see in this in Putty's file? Putty, 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 calling Putty. Putty, come in, Putty.
Yes, sir.
What's the new word that you can see in this program? Okay, what's the new word that you can see in this class, Putty?
Movie.
Movie, Putty, next to the word movie. Puti, calling in Puti.
Class.
Telangalani, Telangalani, I'm calling Telangalani. Over. Telangalani, are you there?
Yes,
Class.
yes, I'm here.
Yes, what's the new word that you can see in this class? Puti,
And
I can't hear you.
I'm
Puti
not
said
sure.
movie. Puti said movie. He feels that's the new word that I'm talking about in lesson 30 class. I say there's another word that's even more newer than movie.
It's class.
Yay!
Class.
Yay! Who was that screamed the answer? Well done. I can't see the
Yes.
name, but very good. So here in line number 6, the new word that we're talking about is class, right? And the way I wrote classes was full capital letters, or the way it's written in the learner guide or the study guide, it was a capital C and they had classes. Now that's not a reserved word in for us, right? Class is the reserved word. So you see, if I put the word classes there, it doesn't, it changes color to like it's a normal word. It's not a reserved word as such, okay? That's what these colors are all about. Can you see green, blue, black, red? Puti, do you like colors? Oh, Telangalani, do you check the meaning of the colors now? Telangalani? Oh, I gotta put my
Yes,
red shirt
they?
on. I'm talking about the colors, right? Blue, it
Yes.
indicates that this is a reserved word, right, class? So this is the very first time that you are going to see in the, well, up to lesson 29, that we're using now a new word like the word class. And then if I go and says, hey, this says public. Now to me, public means that everybody can see whatever I'm doing. If I'm going to write a book and I'm going to talk about the book and I'm going to put all my secrets in the book, and I'm making it public. So Telangalani, the opposite of public is?
It's private.
Oh, you want to be private? Okay, okay. So maybe they also have something that's private. And private Telangalani, can everybody see that or only you can see it? Telangalani?
Yes,
Private. If you want to keep something private, is it available for everybody or is it available only to you?
only to me.
Right. So you got to keep these things in mind when you are looking at this lesson 30. They talk about public and they talk about private. So if you notice in line number 8, it's just like what we were talking about now. Public, and somewhere in line number 12, they're talking about private. Okay? So I look
Okay.
at this and I say, hey, this must have something to do with accessibility. Who has access to all these things, right? And now in my class that I'm talking about, ha ha ha, there's the joke again. Class, they talk about a specific type of it, which is public and private, right? Now, if you go ahead and you read your notes, they'll be talking about all of these things somewhere along the line, right? But I take it for granted that you would have read these notes. So let's go on and complete what they're mentioning. I'm going to copy this next part, which says void. Oh, guess what? I've heard about void before. And this was in one of my lessons where I remember talking about fun with functions. Oh, Amdullah raised his hand. Amdullah Sadar, you have a question for me.
Yes, sir. So
Yes.
I've been trying to copy and paste the code from code blocks. So instead of the code coming out in every line, like how it is in the textbook and how it was on search screen, mine it's coming in line 1 after the slashes, everything.
Oh, that's weird. Let me try it again. So this is how I copy Amdullah. Can you see? I copy, 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 copy. I go wherever I want to stop. So Abdullah, I click on the right click on the mouse and I say copy. I minimize my guide. I come to wherever I want to and I press on my keyboard Control and B. Look at that, Abdullah.
Yes, sir. Now mine is not like that.
Oh no, I wonder why.
I also
Abdullah,
wonder, so
maybe
that
I could, maybe you and I could do a private class. Abdullah, how's that joke?
very
Telangalani,
fun. Yeah.
Telangalani,
Yes,
how's that joke?
I'm here.
Abdullah and I can do a private class so that I can teach him how to copy and paste. Yay, Abdullah.
Okay.
Hey, let me put my video on, then y'all can see me laughing. Come on now. You know, y'all don't get this private and public jokes that I'm getting. All right. If I had to have a private joke with Abdullah, that means it's only Abdullah and I that are going to be talking. But if I'm going to make my jokes public, then I'm going to put it on YouTube. Ooh, this is going to go on YouTube. This is going to go on YouTube. Right? Abdullah, if you don't mind, I'll do that with you separately, right?
No
Because
problem, sir.
I'm busy in this lecture and I'm in the zone. I'm in the class of teaching you about classes and teaching you how to copy and paste. Okay, right.
Okay, sir.
So I don't suspect that has to do with programming. It's something else, Abdullah. Right?
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let me go on, Abdullah, and I'm going to take the next bit. Now if Abdullah was, I would have copied everything in one go. But let's do a little bit step by step. So I block the text, right click, I go to copy. I don't say copy with formatting, Abdullah. I say copy.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I open up my code blocks, Abdullah, and I paste it out there, right? Control V. You'll notice I actually copied this thing called void. Whoa, I'm using the word void. And that is a familiar word to me, Abdullah. What you say, Abdullah? Is that are you familiar with void? Abdullah. Abdullah. Calling Abdullah. Where is Abdullah? Roger, Roger, over and out. Abdullah, I mean over. Telangalani, calling Telangalani, over. Calling Puti, over. Am I talking to myself? Over. Hey, I got an internet connection here. Where? Hello, Telangalani.
Yes, you're back now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll move closer to the modem. For some odd reason,
So
I lost my connection. Right? Hello? Telangalani, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Loud and clear.
Oh, I'm sorry, Abdullah. My internet stable is not very stable.
Yeah, we were in a dark class. We moved to a dark class after you left.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, right. I'm back again. So here's my class, right? Now it says, where am I now? What was the last thing I said, Telangalani?
There.
What
The
was
void.
it? Yes, I was talking about the void function. Okay, so
Yes.
the void function is basically, I'm just going to do a quick repetition of what was the void function from my Fun with Functions video. The void function was basically when I said it's a non-returning function. So you get a void function and you get a return type function. But I'm not going to get into too much details out there. I'm just talking about this program. So let's look at line number 26. Hey, that looks like a very familiar line to Abdullah.
So
Telangalani?
we cannot see your screen.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't share my screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you for mentioning that. Oh, and I'm talking to me and I'm thinking that you can see my screen and you can't see my screen now. Can you see it now, Abdullah?
It's not loading.
Oh, hey, I got Microsoft.
Okay, now we can see.
Oh, good. I got fiber out here and you still can't see my screen. Okay, so if I
Now
look
it's
at,
visible. We can see.
oh, good, Telangalani, thank you. So if you look at line number 26, it has the word get line in there. It's got CN and it's got title and it's got backslash. Let's do a quick revision. What does get line do?
Fetches the line, I think.
Yeah, it fetches the line. And why is it so important to use get line and not just CN? Abdullah?
I have to think on it.
Oh, come on. I don't have a whole day now. I only got this 1 hour to think about. What would happen if I use CN and I say name, and then I enter in John Africa? We did this in assignment. You would have done this in the previous.
answer.
Yes, please, Telangalani, please.
No, it's not. It's Bulelwa
Oh, Bulewa. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't see the names when I'm sharing a screen. Where are you calling us from, Bulewa?
from Johannesburg
Where about in Johannesburg?
in Glen Vista.
Glen Vista. Okay, thank you, Glen Vista resident. Tell me, why would I want to use a get line statement instead of a see in statement?
Because a CN will only give you the first word and the get line is going to give you the whole line. Like if it's name and surname, then you
Yes.
need to use a get line so that both lines come in.
Ah, both words. Yay! Abdullah, did you hear that, Abdullah?
Yes, sir, I heard that.
And what do you think about that answer, Abdullah?
Something I learned new.
What do you mean you learned new? Didn't you do this other assignment, the one with John Africa, the sample data?
I probably forgot.
Yes, you probably did. Let me show you that assignment there. I did that answer with that assignment. Let me open it up. Can you see? I got get line school name. Can you see that, Abdullah?
Yes, sir.
And where's my, who gave me the right answer? I forgot the name now. What was it? Was it Telangalani?
Bulelwa.
No, it was Bulelwa.
Bulelwa. Bulelwa. You gave me that name. Can you see how I got get marks and then I got, oh, I better change, I better hide this thing. I better hide it. I better hide it. Abdullah, why did I hide that, Abdullah?
Because it's the assignment that is due.
Shh. Don't tell anybody that. Telangalani, did you see it, Telangalani?
Yes.
No, I'm not supposed to. Please, don't get me into trouble. Don't. Okay. So get line is very important so that you can get two words with a space in between there, right? Like the name and surname. Thank you so much. I think we'll give you a clap to the Johannesburg resident who has city power, and city power says they're keeping the lights on in Johannesburg. So that's one of the reasons for using the get line, right? Instead of see in. And then if I notice, oh, there we go. That's the end of this void function, line number 46. I wouldn't call it a void function as such, but yeah, well, and we're not returning anything, but we'll go on. So Abdullah, I know you can't copy and paste. You will have to type it out on the long way, right? So let's go for the next function. Now this one, it says void movie. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that across, right? And then it says void and it says movie. I'm going to copy this one. Again, quick revision, we get a return type function, and now we are using a void, right? So Control V. If I look at this, can you see I'm not really expecting to pass across any data that's given to me. All I'm interested in, see out movie info. Abdullah, can you see that? See out title, see out director, see out years. And then I have a loop over here. There's my for loop, and I'm running through the loop running from I less than number of actors. So that also consolidates your knowledge and your work or your understanding of a return type function versus this void function. All right, Abdullah, in your own words, simply tell me, what would a return type function do and what would a void function do?
So a return type function would give us a return of the input we give, to give us an output, and a non-return function would just return what is in there already.
Ah, okay, thank you. Anybody wants to add to that? And here's your chance to become famous, to be on my YouTube video. Come on. Telangalani, you want to add to that?
Sorry?
Do you want to add to Abdullah's answer?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Anybody else? So yeah, that's in fact, the words tell you return. I'm giving back something. And just to add a little bit more to what Abdullah said, which is correct, is that I have to do some calculation or some computation, because think about it, Abdullah. Would it make sense to just give me back the same thing that I gave you in a function? Abdullah, think about it. Don't you want to do some calculation on that variable and then you want to pass it back? Abdullah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Abdullah? Yeah, right. It's like, imagine if I have to give you uncooked rice and uncooked, vegetables or whatever, and then I say, "There's you, the chef, Abdullah. I want you to now return it to me in biryani." I don't know if
Yeah.
Telangalani knows biryani, huh?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
Telangalani, Abdullah, all he does is he gives me back the uncooked rice and the uncooked vegetables. I'm not gonna like that. I'm gonna say, Abdullah, you are a return function. I want you to take this rice and I want you to cook it. I want you to take the vegetables and I want you to cook it. And I want you to give me a return on that.
Yes, sir.
Abdullah, how's that for a joke, Abdullah?
It's quite funny.
Right. Okay, thank you. But should I give up my day job and start stand-up comedy, Abdullah?
No, sir.
No. Why?
Because you said
No.
one already. You don't want to go in one-on-one.
Telangalani, what do you think? Oh, man. All right, let me give you another return on a function that's important. Say, for instance, I give you values as money or monetary, and then I take those values and I do compound interest and all that comes with it, and then I get a return. So that's how I want to receive my money. I don't want to receive, if I give you 100 rand and I say, go and invest this, Abdullah, I know
Yes,
maybe
sir.
you're talking about Sharia law and all that goes with it. Let's just pretend that we're not like that. I want something to come out of that function with more money that I gave you. Okay, Abdullah?
Yes,
All right?
sir.
So that's what a return type function is talking about. Anything that doesn't give you a value right now, it's like a void. And very often we'll use this void to display. In this case, we're displaying the title, the director, the year, and the number of actors, right? So let's go
Yes,
back
sir.
to my code in lesson 30, and I'm taking it. Ooh, look at this function. Ooh. Abdullah, check it
Yes,
out.
sir.
Check it out, Abdullah.
Bull.
What you telling me? I'm a bull. Abdullah,
The bull function.
how you can call me a bull? You know, you say cow or something. Oh, bull. Oh, good. Telangalani, you got my joke, the Telangalani?
Yes.
Yeah, he called me a bull. Meantime, he's talking about a bullion, right? Right.
I say bulls are gone. It's not them.
Oh, yeah. Abdullah just told me that he's from the Islamic faith, and that's a different bull that we're talking about. So tell me, what's a Boolean value, Telangalani?
Sorry?
What's a Boolean value?
In value.
Invalid. Okay.
You're saying?
What's a Boolean value?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Take a guess. You can either be true or false in your answer. Anybody
Can
wants
I
to help
answer?
Telangalani?
Yes.
Boolean value is for 0 and 1. It returns true or false.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, Telangalani, I'm getting worried
Oh,
now. That's one of
yeah,
the
yeah,
basics
I
of this
remember.
course, huh? Now you remember it. Okay, I know what you're
Yes.
thinking about. You're thinking about a bull or a cow. That's why, and maybe you're getting hungry and thirsty for that, right? Now the Boolean is a data type in programming, and all they want to know is whether the outcome from that variable is true or false. Telangalani, look at
Okay.
line 64 and look at line 65.
Yes.
Can you see the return, what's coming out from that function?
Yes. I
True
can see
or
that.
false? So
Of
Telangalani,
course.
today, for the last hour or for this hour, thing that consolidates in your mind is that a Boolean gives you an answer of true or false. A
Okay.
Boolean, like Abdullah just mentioned, a 1 or a 0. That's the output. Now, maybe some of you are studying information systems, INF 1505.
1521.
1521. Oh, Abdullah, maybe they spoke about binary values over there.
Yes, sir.
A binary value. Talk to me about binary values, Abdullah.
So you only deal with the 0 and 1s, and you can add in other things, not all those other things you can do with it.
What's
And
the other things?
Hey, I have to see my study guide.
Oh, lucky you're not writing the INF 1512 tomorrow. You'll have to see your study guide. Okay, never mind. You still got time. This is only July. When your exams are, Abdullah?
October, November.
Oh, so you still got time, okay? But you know time flies, huh?
Yes, sir.
Right, let me tell you quickly about binary. Like you correctly pointed out, a binary is either 0 or 1. A Boolean value, Telangalani, is either a 0 or a 1. It's either true or false.
Yes.
So the example that I always talk about my students is the concept of a light. Maybe you can go to your light switch and put it on and off. A light switch is either off or on. Hey, should I put my video and show you that a light come off and on? So if I want to represent the light being on, I will use the value of 1. Or instead of using that value of 1, I can say true. Similarly, if the light is off, the light switch is off, I can use the value of 0 to represent the light switch being off, or I can say false. So that's what happens in this function out here. It runs out and it says if actors is equal to director. Ooh, look at this, line 63. Can you see the 2 equal to sign? That means is it equal to? And the response from Abdullah is it's either true or false. So if the actor is also a director, that means it says it's true. Can you see? If it's not, then they say that, oh, you know what? This is just a director or it's just an actor. For example, Steven Spielberg is a very famous director, but did he act in any movies, Abdullah?
I'm not sure about that. Who
No,
that person is?
I don't think so. I'm not sure too. So he's not an actor and a director. But let me think of one actor who's also a director and a director who's an actor. I can't find that. Maybe I have to ask my best friend. Abdullah, you know who's my best friend?
Who's Google?
Yeah. Oh, so you did pay attention to my other lessons as well, right? So let's go on now with this program.
So my friend here told me one director and an actor. What's his name? Sanjay?
Who's Sanjay? Is Sanjay an actor and a director?
Yeah, an Indian actor and director.
Oh, okay. But I don't think Telangalani would be watching Indian movies now, so I don't think she knows that. Telangalani, do you know Sanjay, who's an actor and a director in an Indian movie?
No.
Yeah, see, Abdullah, you got to be sensitive to Telangalani now.
Yeah, someone said Angelina what? Jolie.
Is she an actor and a director?
Yeah, that's what this person said, yeah.
Oh, and which movie she acted and directed in?
Give me a minute, he's checking up here on your
my best friend, okay. Telangalani, you know Angelina Jolie?
Yes, I do.
Right. Oh, so she, according to Abdullah, is both an actor and a director.
By the sea.
Oh, where she lives by the sea? No, I live by the sea. I'm in Durban.
No, the movie's name By the Sea. She acted in the
Okay. Hey, thank you, Telangalani, for laughing. Thank you. You got my joke. Right. So according to Abdullah, if we had to enter in Angelina Jolie, it would appear that she is both an actress and, well, in this case, they're talking actor, right? Now, don't get confusing with me and tell me, oh, sir, you only wrote actors over here, never wrote actress. But maybe Telangalani is a feminist, and then she's going to question me on that. But you won't do that now, right? Don't complicate matters, okay? So that's when it's going to return a true. Oh, while we were talking, to save time, I quickly copied the main man. There's the main function. Now, this is for Brendan Conradi, who was debating with me whether main is a user-defined function or it's a function that's predefined. No, but we're not going to get into that because Brendan is not here today. By the way, Brendan scored 100% in his lesson quiz and he won pizza. Abdullah, what do you think of that?
If you scored all, he deserves it. Give it to him.
Yeah, he was a champion, right? He was the highest mark. He scored 150 questions right out of 160. And I took all the questions from the previous lessons. Right? So Abdullah, if
Yes,
you
sir.
want to win or Telangalani, you score the highest in the next championship round, and you can win pizza from me, right? And I'll
Okay.
send my personal driver to come and deliver it to you. He either comes on a motorbike or a car, right? And his name is Uber.
Okay.
Oh,
All right.
really?
Yeah, right. Okay. Okay, so let's look at this play now. There's the main man. I call this the main man. This is also a function, and according to the debate that Brendan and I were having, is it user defined or is it predefined? Now you can also do a Google on that. Ask them what is main, but we're not going to get into that right now. So if I look at line number 70 out here, it says movie is of type movie 1. And if I look right in the top, there's this movie. There we go. So whatever I have in out here, movie 1, comes from all this. And guess what? This is defined as a class. And inside there, like Telangalani and I were talking about, there's something about a public versus a private. Now, let me just quickly see if I typed everything correctly. And I just want to do a quick build on this thing. So I go to build and I click on build. And it's building. Let me go to my view and see my manager. Where's my logs? View, let's see logs. It should be a nice compiling. Abdullah, any errors there, Abdullah? Any errors there? Nothing
no.
to be done. All are up to date. Oh, very nice, very nice. So let me go and see that what they're talking about in this thing about classes. So they say, how does the class definition differ from the struct definition as given in solution to activity 28.8? What do you think the term public and private in a class mean? Oh, there we go, Telangalani. They said, take a guess. How do the member functions of a movie class differ from the functions that we wrote in the solution? How does the declaration of an object differ from the declaration of a struct? How do member functions call of an object differ from the call functions in the main function? And then they go on, there's it. The class definition starts with the reserved word class rather than struct. Pooty, are you there? Pooty, unmute. Pooty. Okay, Telangalani, you still there with me? Telangalani?
Yes, I'm still here.
Right. Remember in line number 6, I asked you what was the new word that I had. There's the new word,
Yes.
class. Right? This is because this is our class on C++ on classes. Yay, you got the joke. Good, good, good. So now they tell me that it has a reserved word class rather than a reserved word struct. I did this lesson some time ago. What's a struct and how, quick revision, a struct is basically a record. And within that struct, I have a number of fields. Each field can have a different type. So I remember in my class lesson, I was wearing, oh, let me put my video on. So if you look at my video, you see I'm wearing my red shirt here, red shirt, right? When I was doing the lesson on structs, they actually spoke about shirts. And one of the fields in the struct was about the size of the shirt. Okay, I'm using a small, and I remember in that lesson, I even told him mine was a medium or a red shirt. By the way, it's somewhere in lesson 28. Let me quickly go to lesson 28. Hey, let me see if they have the shirt there, the struct. Now, if you don't know what a struct is, then you're not going to be able to understand what's going on in lesson 30. This is the problem with the programming, I feel. You can't go and say, oh, I'm going to ignore lesson 25, 26, 27, and I'm going to just learn about lesson 30. You have to go through each and every lesson in detail before you get to lesson number 30. Right? So let me look at there. Aha! Abdullah, can you check my shirt over here? Can you check my shirt struct, Abdullah? Telangalani.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Can you check? This is how I define my struct. I have the reserved word struct. I have the shirt. The shirt has different fields in there. Abdullah, size,
Yes, sir.
style, color, price. Okay. And
Okay.
I can collectively refer to that by shirt. And if I want to have a reference parameter, like I have it out here, a reference parameter shirt P is of type structure shirt. So let me go back to my lesson 30 now, right? Now, if you are having difficulty understanding the concept of struct, go to lesson 28. But this class is about lesson 30. So let's go on with the notes, what they're talking about this. By the way, please feel free to stop me and ask me a question. Huh? That's why I'm allowing you to keep your mics on. So let's go to lesson, right? So there we go. They talk about the class definition starts with the reserved word class rather than struct. A number of member functions are included. There are two reserved words, public and private, used before the list of member functions and the list of variables respectively. Yes. Public means that something available for everyone's use. Hey, Telangalani, are you there?
Yes.
That's what you said.
Yes, I'm here.
Didn't you tell me about private and public? What did you tell me from your,
Yes.
what did you tell me? Repeat what you said.
We talked about private, that if it's private, that means it's available for me only.
Mm-hmm.
And then if it's public, it's available for everyone.
Okay, okay. Well, it's also available to the compiler. How's that for a joke?
Yeah.
Oh, you got the joke. Okay, good, good, good. So a private means that it's hidden away, okay? And it's used by the compiler and in that program. But public, hey, Telangalani is so kind. She says, you know what? I can use it. Abdullah can use it. Everybody can use it. Hey, this reminds me of Oprah. You know when Oprah says, you'll have a prize, you'll have a prize, everybody gets a prize. So in public, everybody can use it. But for private, that is hidden, right? And only like the compiler kind of knows what it is. And obviously Telangalani, because she's wrote that for her, right? Since the member functions are all listed in the public, this indicates that they're available to everybody. Everybody has access to that, right? The whole the program. Whereas the member variables are inaccessible, not available to everyone, not available throughout the program. Now, you must remember, we are writing small programs, but generally you have a long, hundreds of lines. So you don't want it to be available to every single part. Right, let's go on. It says, instead of passing movie struct as a parameter, we use a movie object. Remember when I started this lesson about, what's the time now? It's now 12:49, about 50 minutes ago. I told you that the paradigm we're talking about is object-oriented programming. Or remember I made that word, oops. That's another joke, Abdullah and Telangalani. Oops, I did it again. Oop.
Oh.
That's a joke, man. Oop
Your
stands for
audio is
object-oriented
not
programming. No, man. Oh, thank you for laughing. Thank you for laughing, right? Telangalani, you know Britney Spears sang the song, Oops, I Did It Again.
Yes.
Yeah, Telangalani, oop, I made a joke now. It's the OOP project, it's OOP paradigm. Object-oriented programming. Oops, I did it again.
Yeah, your audio, it's breaking up.
Oh, sorry, Telangalani. Oh man, that's not right. Abdullah, did you hear my joke, Abdullah?
Sir, I heard it. Oops.
Yes. And you know Britney Spears sings that song, Oops, I Did It Again?
No.
Oh man, okay. You'll have to ask my best friend. All right. Now, there we go. Let's go on. It says the purpose of this guy, a class combines data and functions to operate on that data. In this case, the data that they're going to get is the information about the movie, like who directed it, who starred in it, who was the actor, and all of that. And there's another nice word that they're talking about, encapsulation. So without looking at the definition of encapsulation, encapsulation kind of says, I'm putting all of these things together. Remember we were talking about rice earlier on, Abdullah, and vegetables and everything. I'm going to put all of them in one big pot. Or, you know, we know the word anda. I don't know if you know that word Telangalani or Puti. Anda is like a big pot, okay? And we're putting all of them together and encapsulating that, right? So encapsulation refers to the fact that the data is hidden, it's inaccessible to the program, it's all put into this pot. And all I'm going to look at is if I'm talking about biryani, a pot of biryani, I'm putting everything inside there, and I refer to that as my pot, right? And what goes inside, it's not really accessible to everybody else. They don't know the secret of Abdullah cooking biryani. The only access to the data is through the member functions. Aha, they use another nice word, member functions. And they are accessible, and then we access them as either public or private. Like Telangalani correctly pointed out about public versus private. Oh, I still got my video on. Let me stop my video here. What if I'm saving some data for you? The reason why member functions don't need to take a movie object is that the member there we talk about member functions connected to the movie class. So I would advise you, Abdullah and Telangalani, because some of you may not have come to lesson 30, to go and read these paragraphs. I realized that students don't like to read. I don't know why, right? Anyway, here we go. Then it says, the movie prefix indicates that a function is a member function of the movie class. The double colon is called the scope resolution operator. Abdullah,
Yes,
this is
sir.
going to be a nice lesson 30 quiz. What do you think of that? I'm going to say true or false. True or false? The double colon is called the scope resolution operator.
It's number one.
Ah, very good. I got the joke. That means you're talking Boolean variable.
Yes,
Yeah. Abdullah, you got the joke. Right. Good one. That's why it's called the scope resolution operator. But listen here, you don't have to know those words or the meaning of the word. You can still program, okay? It's like if you want to drive a car, you don't have to know what the starter is, what the battery is. You just press the key and or turn the key, it works.
Just start and go.
Exactly, right? The same thing with this lesson on classes. Just know how to define it. In fact, all of programming out there, just know how to define it, what's its use, and how it comes out. For example, the Boolean thing we're talking about, right? Telangalani, we're not talking about the Boolean, the Boolean, which is either true or false, 0 or 1. All you got to know is what is the output of that variable. In my case, whether he's an actor and a director, then it becomes true. If he's not an actor and a director, it's false. Okay? Now, Boolean variables have the AND operator, the OR operator, and the NOT operator. And if you do INF 1505 or 1512, they talk about those operations on binary variables. All right? Let's go on.
Okay.
A member function call is always attached to an object of the relevant class. The member function operates on that specific object. Now, when we're talking OOP, which is object-oriented programming, the object-oriented paradigm, they mentioned words like object, they mentioned words like encapsulation. Believe it or not, they have some very big words like polymorphism. You heard of that word? Mutators and assessors. Those are big words. But again, we'll come to that at a later stage. Right now, the way I'm looking at my time, 12:55, I should be able to run this program. Let's just talk about it from the perspective of the notes in the study guide. Input data is a mutator. Ooh, this sounds like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Abdullah, you saw that movie?
No.
Oh, okay. Telangalani, did you see that movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I haven't.
Oh, man, I must be pretty old then, man. That movie was, oh, yeah, I am old. Okay, doesn't matter. Mutant turtles, they are turtles that change into like a human being kind of thingy, okay?
Oh, it's 4 turtles. They've got different colors. They got different weapons.
Yeah, right, different weapons. And they also like pizza.
Yeah, that one.
All right. I think for homework, you'll need to go watch a movie, The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Ha ha ha. Right. So input data is called a mutator because it inputs values, stores them in the member variables of the object. So let's look at where they spoke about input data here. Let's look at what my code block says, input data. There we go, input data. It's part of this public accessibility. So let's look at input data. Where's this input data? That's display data. There's input data. So I'm getting all of the data like the title, the director, the year, and the actors. And I'm putting it that I'm kind of taking like my Abdullah in the case of cooking, which was the rice, which was the vegetables, which was the oil. That's where I make my biryani ultimately. All right. So that's, and they're using a big word out there, but don't get worried about that. Without knowing the word mutator, you can use it. Listen here, programming has input, processing, and output, and that's what I'm doing with that. What else they talk about? They talk about the account struct stores the values that was in struct, or like my example of the shirts. And they spoke about how we define the struct, the account structure, transactions. Okay, we'll come back. No, man, we'll come back to that. And I'm quickly trying to round up because I looked at my time. It's already 3 minutes to 1. So what you need to do now is to go and read the important points in the lesson. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a private Zoom lesson with Abdullah. Hey, public and private.
Private class.
Yay, private class. Yay. Good. You got the play on words. Finally, you're getting my jokes. Okay. So I'd like you, Telangalani and Abdullah,
Yes.
take the entire
Yeah.
program, just like the way I did it, right? In code blocks. You're going to take the program from lesson 30, and you're going to build and run it. So there we go. I'm running the program. There, and when I'm running the program, Pooty, are you still with me, Pooty? Pooty. Oh, I can't hear Pooty, but I can hear Pooty's daughter. Okay, so the movie title is Teenage Ninja Turtles. And my wife just told me Teenage Ninja Turtles Mutant. Okay, too late, already on the next field. The director is who? Steven Spielberg. Steven, S-P-I-E-L-B-E-R-G, Steven Spielberg. The year, by the way, y'all never got the movie because that was a long time ago. It was in 2002, I think. I don't know, I'm just guessing.
Sure.
The actors,
That's
who are the
old.
actors in this movie? Oh man, I don't know who those actors were.
4 turtles, 1 mouse.
Was a mouse?
What is his coach's, master's name? Isn't it a mouse?
I thought he was a rat.
Oh, rat, yeah.
Oh, okay. So can you see my program is working? Check it out, because I'm able to enter in data. And guess where it's coming from? It's coming from void input data. Check it out. Right, that's the lines that are running in this code. Is now actor number 1, which is from lines 31, 32, 33. So I'm going to make this a forthcoming attraction. I want you to work it out. It's already 1 o'clock. And for some odd reason, my throat is feeling sore, man. I think I need a glass of water or something like that. Maybe I asked my wife. Oops, I'm recording. I've muted and please can I have some water, please. Right. Okay, so you will need to do this, right? You'll need to run this program in code blocks. Abdullah, are you going to do that for me, Abdullah?
So now, later.
Okay, later. Telangalani, will you do lesson 30 for me, Telangalani?
Yes, I will do.
Yes, it's very important because lesson 30 actually will will test your knowledge on this Boolean variables, on get line and all that goes with it, right? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stop with that. Thanks. Okay, so let's just quick do a recap of what I was talking about today in my class. That was a joke again to Langalani and Abdullah. I'm talking about
Yes,
classes.
I saw the class,
Right.
today's class.
So, yes, when we define the class, we have the reserved word class, right? Not classes, not capital C, not small letter C. I can't put like this and then, right? Telangalani, you saw that, right? Abdullah?
Yeah.
I can't do
Yes,
that,
sir.
right? I can't do that. I got to have C, small letter C, small letter L, small or lowercase or lower caps, they call it. And then inside there, I had two different, I could call it ways of writing it, okay? And according to Telangalani, she said, public, everybody can have access to that. Private, only she has access to it, right? Only very few people, not me,
Yes.
right? So that was it. Then I also mentioned to you that you can have fields in there. And I revised very quickly what a struct is all about, because the concept of a struct plays a role in this program. So if you think about my lesson a couple of weeks ago, no, it was over a month ago about struct, and I spoke to you about a shirt and a shirt size and shirt color. That's what we're talking about out here. In this movie example, we spoke about a title, a director, and the actors in there, okay? So all that data refers to a movie. Like I use this example now about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? And Steven Spielberg was the director. And I told you that it was in 2002. Can you see all that data simply refers to the record on the movie Teenage Mutant Turtles. That could have been stored in a struct. Then we spoke very briefly about getLine, what that does. And it was the student from Johannesburg. Are you still there, student from Johannesburg?
Yes,
Tell me what is getLine, right? Where getLine ensures that I'm able to take the name with the space and a surname, and it enters that in. The same thing with director. If you noticed, I typed in, let me get my work there. I typed in Steven space Spielberg. If I used a C in, it will ignore the surname. I'm so lucky I used getLine. I did that a couple lessons ago. Go and look at my previous videos. And I spoke to you about a void function and a return type function. And Abdullah gave me the correct answer about the return type, where I'm having some data, I'm doing some computation, and out comes a result. All right, in this example, there's basically nothing being done to the data that I put into the function out here. I'm simply displaying it. Then I also spoke to you about Boolean. So, you know, Boolean, Telangalani is going to read up about that. A Boolean tells me that the value is either true or false, yes or no, 0 or 1. So that's what happens out here. And then we make a little joke, and we spoke about Angelina Jolie, who appears in the movie By the Sea, and she is both an actress and a director. So if I had to run this on Angelina Jolie and I had input the data, it's going to give me the value of true. But if I had to talk about Steven Spielberg, he's only a director. He's not an actor and a director, right? And then out here, I call this up. I called movie 1, input data. Movie 1, display data. So if I looked at input data, can you see I'm calling input data out here? There's input data. And there's the double colon. And that's going to be in the next quiz. Okay, movie double colon input data. Right? And I think I'll continue with this next week, Saturday. Okay? Next week, Saturday, I'll continue this lesson because it's already, oh, look at the time, 6 minutes past 1. Is that okay if I continue with it next week?
Yes, it's
Right?
okay.
Okay. And Abdullah, would you be there next week, Abdullah?
Yes, I'll try my best to be there.
Okay, okay, that's good. And Telangalani, you can see if you can come, because next week I'm going to quickly revise this, and I'm going to talk to you all about why and how I'm calling input data, and why do I have to have the word movie one in front of input data? Why do I have to have movie one dot display data? Right? And if I had to have another one, I may have movie one dot, call up and work out something else. All right. So with that,
All right.
I'm going to end my lesson. I got a couple of household chores to do, right? I'm going to change the light bulb in the front. See, so not only am I a programmer, I can also change the light bulb, because the light bulb is either on or off, true or false, 0 or 1, a binary variable. All right. So thank you so much for attending today's lesson. Oh, I got a question in the chat. The question in the chat is, apologies, I have a problem with internet connection. Oops. Jenny has an issue about assignment 3. Jenny, I did assignment 3 last week, and maybe you can email it to me. I'll help you with that, right? I don't like sharing that on a recording because other people copy and paste my answer, right? Okay. Thank you. Any more questions? Any more questions? Right, we'll stop with that. Maybe I'll take a photo of my screen and I'll post it in the WhatsApp group. This is what we were talking about today. I was talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And I also posted on Twitter. Follow my handle on Twitter, which is hashtag COS1511 Group 7E. Hey, how's that? Right? So let's go there. And I'm going to post this in our chat. Yay, right? Screenshot from today's class. How's that joke? I better put the class in small letter. Right? There we go. And I'm going to say thank you to Abdullah and Telangalani. Telangalani, how do you spell your name? T-L?
A N-G-E
N-G-E
L-A-N-I.
L-A-N-I. Thank you to Telangalani for assisting me in the only y'all will know the joke about the class. Thank you to Telangalani. Thank you, Abdullah, for assisting me in the class. All right, just put a comment out there about in the WhatsApp group that our class is finished. Hey, right? Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to stop sharing now. All right. I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Abdullah. Goodbye, Telangalani. And recording has stopped.